one, two. Hello. Hello there. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to DJ Benson GMPC Music YouTube channel. I'm Nubian. For those that don't know, I have a show every Sunday called Chill and Spill. But we're not here for the talk show. Today we are here to give you some live updates about Hurricane Beryl. Um, for those that was tuned in earlier, apologies. Have some technical difficulties because it is live, and these things happen when you're live. So yeah. To my left we have Benson. He also has a show every Friday. But we are here to talk about Beryl and the disaster that it's causing around the Caribbean islands, and it's also heading to America as well. What we need to think about is how the hurricane has started so early on. We know from June to November is hurricane season or rainy season. But near the end, like coming up to September, October, November, you get the hurricanes. We have got hurricanes early. First time in 2 decades. It's absolutely crazy. So we're doing a live show to, give you some updates and to talk to some people that's back home, whether you be in Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Grenada, St. Vincent, Barbados, all the places where Hurricane Beryl decided to hit. Now, what we have to be thankful is, as it's come to Jamaica, it's not the highest category that it was when it was in Barbados, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent. It's gone one lower, but it's still it's pretty strong, you know. And we're just here to just give you some updates, some live updates, and to check everyone's okay, and everyone's businesses, homes. We don't want no deaths, even though we've had some deaths. And we send our sincere condolences to those that have lost loved ones in this time. So Benson.
Well, it's a very hard thing, really, knowing the fact that it's so earlier on in the year. It's something that people would expect around September time, and over the years, I can gradually see like the season have been changing over and over.
There's been a shift.
A shift, yeah. So it's different in every aspect of where nature is concerned, as they do say it's climate change.
Yes.
And when I do look into the fact that they would mention climate change from time to time, I also wonder if they are also playing with the environment, right? On not only as air pollution that will contribute to it in some sense, but what are the bigger heads are doing in the meantime that also affects the climate in this rapid decline in in terms of our atmosphere would be. And it's a matter of great interest and great concern, and for the future generation in say 5, 10, 15 years from now or further on,
Yeah.
it's a deep concern.
It really, really is. And what can you do? It's a situation where you're just powerless. There's not much you can do, but protect yourselves and your businesses. I'm not sure if everyone's seen, but in Barbados, they've had a catastrophic um, reaction to the hurricane. The fishermen boats. Wow, I mean, these are people's livelihoods, and it's just gone down the pan. I heard a man say he's had this boat. Is it 6 generations? And it's just sinking. Just watching it sink. Your business. Now, if you're a person that have got a trade and this is the only thing that you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do now? Because that's all you know. It's 6 generations. So this fishing is all you know. But what we do have to remember is the world is majority water. So when storms and tornadoes and things like that happen, we are definitely going to be hit hard, depending on the category that is. You know. So we have got a telephone line. If you'd like to call in, if you're in the Caribbean, that'd be great. Even if you're not in the Caribbean, if you've got some updates from your family and friends to let us know the state of things. The number is 07903129265. If you'd like to give the studio a call and let the congregation know, you know, what it, what the situation is at hand. So we had some footage earlier on some of the weather conditions. You can see the water just going over the buildings. A lot of rain, and that creates mudslide. Is it mudslides?
Yeah.
Yeah, mudslides. Now that could be very dangerous because if you've got houses on the hills, which we know in the Caribbean, there's a lot of houses that are on mountains and on the hills. Mudslide is not a good thing, and apparently there's a lot of rain going on right now in the Caribbean and winds.
What I've noticed in Jamaica earlier on, what they did was to cut the electricity in some places, and I've tried to make contact with those who are back home in Jamaica, and for some places the lines are down, and in Kingston, to my knowledge, because we're getting the live update at the moment, they are saying that it has passed to a certain sense, but in the next four hours from now, they are expecting more torrential rains and the wind. And one person so far, what have been happening in Jamaica so far, I've been made aware that there's a lot of looting going on so far, especially in the phone shops.
Oh wow.
So, you know,
No, sir.
it's something that it's a matter of concern where the business, there are people that are still patrolling the streets, and the enforcement officers are out, but how much of them are there to be all over the place, wherein they have had made the necessary arrangement in getting those persons, like the police and the soldiers that were on leave, to come back to work immediately to help this thing from happening. So during the process of people trying to
Stay
salvage,
safe.
stay safe, and also you will always find that not only in Jamaica, because that is happening around the world, and wherever you have a
Natural
a
disaster.
natural disaster, some unscrupulous persons always try to make the most of things, not in a good way, that is. But what we're going to do, um, I'm going to try my uttermost best, nevertheless, as earlier on we were transmitting live to Jamaica, and some of the lines went down, but I'm still going to try to make a link on some areas where we can make the link where some areas the phone lines are off also because I guess the network providers also has turned their system off, and the electricity, they stated that they will turn the electricity off in blocks based on where the hurricane is going to hit first. And I'm fully aware that there has been some damage to the Norman Manley International Airport, firstly. So it has been through Kingston, then heading to Clarendon and Manchester side. So what I'm going to try to do in the meantime is try and while we are here to see if it is possible for us to make a call to persons who we can do make a call with, because we have contact with the 14 parishes that are in Jamaica and contact with them. So, as throughout the night, if you have any information and you want to share with us, feel free to call the studio and let us know on any information that you have heard, and we can keep everybody posted, because that is the main reason of this broadcast early morning in London town, where a lot of persons have been inquiring and saying that Benson use a Nubian use a platform to make the connections to those persons in Jamaica, right? So we're gonna try and make some links and see if we can have a live update coming from all over, right? So let us try and in the meantime, if we make contact with yeah. So for all the persons there now, my sincere apologies for breaking the transmission, because you know when we are transmitting live, and what we had was live camera feed, and the feed was broken. So unfortunately for that, but for those persons who have lost their lives in Grenada, you know, my apologies, and we sympathize and we grieve with you on your loss, right? So it's not something that we would want for anything bad to happen to people. But what I've noticed, Nubian, is that a lot of persons have been out on the road and be in the storm just the same. I don't know why, right? Instead of making the necessary precautions and all the news and everything and all the information to stay indoors, a lot of persons have been not taking the instruction of the leaders and of the government. And that is very sad.
That's very sad indeed. Okay, we're calling Jamaica now, but it doesn't seem to be.
We're trying to make a link to Jamaica for those persons' phones that are working, because a lot of persons' phones are working in Jamaica now.
Okay, it doesn't seem to be going through at the moment. Probably needs to be around Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's a possibility that
yeah, there's a possibility. Okay, 1 second.
so we have to, because earlier on for those persons in Kingston, when we made a contact with Kingston, all the lines were down, and Kingston, Port Maria, St. Thomas, Lucy Side, Hanover, their phones are down. Westmoreland also. Clarendon is going through it now, which there is no electricity in Clarendon at the moment. There is no electricity in Manchester, right? So it's a bit of a stormy night without any electricity and without any form of contact to meet to speak to someone around the world. But as you know how we do already in making the necessary connections, the cameras in halfway tree they are also down, and I can see at the moment we're in Bagwalk, the flat bridge. That bridge also now lot of rain there, enormous amount of water that's affecting those areas. So it's something that not that as we expected, and I'm so happy that it's not a category 5. You get what I mean? So it's so good. The Lord has been good to the people in those areas where the the storm has downgraded.
These are the Pikmin. Join them.
This one's ringing. Well, it's just ringing, ringing, ringing.
That's what happens.
Yeah, because it's probably been bombarded with a lot of phone calls just to make sure everyone's just checking to see if everybody's okay, family and the loved ones, you know. Because in something like this, there's just nothing that we can do about it but
Absolutely nothing.
pray that, you know, it will just pass. It's going to pass, but without that much damage. But we have to be grateful that it has dropped the category. No answer.
I'm getting some message from St. Anne's in Brownstown where the breeze is acting away there. So clearly you can see that it's affecting each area differently
Yes.
because the persons in Kingston say they had a brush of it, which in it wasn't as bad as they expected, but it's still moving and it's still going to have an after effect. The Bull Bay area, wherein all the roads in Bull Bay, that road that leads from the airport, from the Norman Manley International Airport to the Bull Bay area leading up to Yallas, that road is flooded also. That road is flooded, so
And did
it's
you see the traffic? The traffic, you know, when once you get a warning like that, you know, a hurricane warning, the panic, you know, everyone just starts to panic. You know, the food, everyone just goes crazy buying lots of food stock. You know, so it's just th- that is lucky for people that can afford. We have to also think about the homeless people that don't have anywhere to go. You know, I saw a video not too long ago, and the man he was just outside in the hurricane, nowhere to go. No one's checked on him and a few people. You know, and there is places for homeless people to go in Jamaica, but
there are approximately 500 persons so far that have taken shelter,
yeah.
and I've received information that the fire brigade has rescued 70 so far.
Wow, that's
So
brilliant.
it's all happening.
Because at the end of the day, we have to give thanks for the fire brigade as well, because even though the island's in danger, you still have to be on call, just like the law enforcement. They still have to be able to go out there and fight crime, you know, make sure everybody's okay. So at the end of the day, sometimes yes, we do have some corrupt law law enforcements, but for those that are genuine and love their job, they just want to make sure everybody's safe. To be honest.
Just getting some a message from the Rocky Point area and Lionel Town and Salt River, where they have never seen rain like this before. So it's having a lot of rain down there.
Yep.
It's on its way now, where it's in Clarendon, heading up to the hills of Mandeville, that side, right? So, what I think I'm going to try and see if this phone can connect with us to
Yo,
hello.
Hello, Mark.
You're live. You're
hey, what's up?
Hi,
how you
Mark.
doing?
How are you?
Yeah, man, my day, man, everything good. I'm live on the radio now. I don't know what I'm call a different
Yes.
number.
No,
No, no,
you're
no.
live. You're
You're
live
live on
right
the
now.
YouTube.
Okay, so you guys need some feedback of what is
Yeah.
happening.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
It in your area and anywhere else in Jamaica.
Okay, well, for my area personally, it's not that bad. The experience is not that bad in my area. Well, for New Haven, which is like a little above me, the Sandy Gully section of the Sandy Gully did not clean, so you find that the water back up, spill over, and start a little flooding in areas, in those surrounding areas. Um, from my understanding of what I'm getting from the meteorological center and the news, is that the middle section of the island, like for instance Clarendon into Manchester,
Right.
going back to St. Elizabeth, they got a more severe hit from the hurricane. Um, Places like Garden Town, some of the roads are impossible. Whole Harbor Bay, lot of damage done in Old Harbor Bay. Section have flooded, section had block in Old Harbor Bay as well.
Wow.
For Allen Bamboo, that side in St. Elizabeth, some of the roads are impossible, especially roads that lead you back into Savlamar. Some of those roads are blocked off. Not, I don't hear much about Trelawney, but I know that the rain is doing Trelawney bad as well. So far, um, I've learned that in Trenchtown, some of the guys were like playing football, and it looked like them keep the ball in the gully, and the gully did full of water. But unfortunately, one of the youngsters, I think he's about in his early 20s, he jumped off of the ball to see if he could catch the ball, and he got swept away by the water.
Oh.
Apparently, they went down by Rima to see if they could, the divers, there are some divers in Rima, went inside the gully to see if they could find his body or see him somewhere there, but so far they haven't discovered him. Learning that in Westmoreland as well, there's some landslide and another death is in Westmoreland.
Oh.
So far it's only two deaths that they account for so far the disaster management team. The There's a section of the Bellevue Hospital that I've learned that gone. Um, St. Thomas, some of the roads are impossible. Some of the sections where the sea is closer to the road, it's kind of devastated, debris on the road, landslide, blockage, and stuff like that. A lot of cheap
Bear
trees break down
bear with me
and
one
stuff
minute,
like that.
Mark. Bear with me one
Yeah.
minute. just to let the
Yes,
people
sir.
know that just to let the people know, this is a live call from Jamaica, giving us an insight of what is happening down there now. So for those persons who are watching, I would be so grateful that if you could just share this link so that other persons who want to know about their family and where the areas in Jamaica have been mostly affected by this torrential rain and storm, this wind, to just let them know. So I'm asking you guys to just kindly share because a lot of persons are trying to make contact with those families back home and are unable to do so. So it would be most obliged if you could just share the link so they could know. Continue, Mark, please.
Correct. Yes. So you still have section of Mount Russell blocked, and the Bagua Gorge is totally closed off. It's impossible to go that side as well. The storm travel, if you know Jamaica well, and you're coming from St. Thomas back to the airport in Kingston, the Norman Manley Airport, which has been closed off from yesterday. There's a few damage to the airport, but it's not nothing detrimental.
Right.
Port Royal, it's impossible. Port Royal, the water level rise in Port Royal and take over the streets of Port Royal. So you cannot go in or out of Port Royal. A
So do you
few
agree,
of
Mark?
the
Sorry
go
to
ahead.
sorry to cut you, Mark. Do you agree that the storm kind of went on the side of Jamaica more than right in the middle?
Definitely, that's what I'm explaining now.
Yes, yes,
The storm travel, like I said, if you know Jamaica well,
yes.
it travel on the coastline from St. Thomas back
Right,
to Port Royal,
right,
going back to Rocky Point,
right.
Okay.
going back past Alligator Pond side,
Yeah, that
and
is.
its way back to Negro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's how it travel on the coastline. So it
Right.
doesn't travel from the other side, which is St. and Ochi back
Outer
to
Arias.
No,
Trelawney into
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
Montego Bay.
yes.
yeah. Not that
It,
side.
right. So the aftermath, the bulk of the storm now, because the eye travel that way, but the storm is so big that because you remember now Jamaica is a small island,
That's it.
so the storm is so big. So even though it's traveling on the coastline, it still cause a lot of damage on the island. But if it has touched land, if the eye travel through the land, it would be very, very dangerous for us. It would be 10 times more than what it is. So presently I'm here watching the news, and we have to give thanks that it could have been worse. Like I
Yes,
said, couple of roadblocks, couple of landslide, a few roofs might got damaged. People who are closer to coastline, like the fishermen and stuff like that, them
yeah,
stall them get mashed up and stuff like that. You understand? But in general, like for us here in Kingston, it's fairly calm in Kingston right now. It's not even raining in Kingston right now. And
right.
and throughout the time since we got rain today, which was from about 12 o'clock in the afternoon this today, we have quite a few scattered shower, not too heavy, not too light, and it was something that we could live with. It's like a regular day of rain with a little breeze from
Right.
where I'm at in Kingston. So
Oh,
it didn't hit Kingston that bad, like how it's like what it is doing now in Clarendon, going into Mandeville, into St. Elizabeth. Because certain part of St. Elizabeth, it's totally devastated. It's completely blocked off, flood, trees down, stuff like that. You understand? So it's traveling that side mostly in the center of Jamaica to I would say, to the south side. So
Going.
it's traveling on that end back down to Negril. And throughout tonight, between Clarendon and Manchester, from what I'm learning, we'll be getting some hits of rain and possibly breeze. Into tomorrow about midday when it will be cooling off. I mean, for now, Kingston is pretty calm, so I'm not quite sure if we're gonna have much more rain throughout the night, which I've learned that it might be calm in Kingston for the rest of the night going into the morning. We might
Okay.
have a few showers, but not that bad. You understand?
Okay, what I want to do, um, it seems like you're one of the only persons that their phone is working in Jamaica. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to take up your time because in the next 15
That's
to
okay. That's all
20,
right.
20 minutes or so, I'm going to make back a link with you to find out what's
Yeah.
happening, if any changes, and brief upon the news of what is happening, right? So I'll
Right.
make a link with you in the next 20 minutes or so to keep us updated throughout the procession of this program, yeah?
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Not a
Thank you
Okay.
very
problem.
Thank you,
much.
Thanks.
Mark.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you
much.
very much, Mark.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's Mark in Kingston, giving us an update of what is transpiring at the moment in Jamaica, and we have to let you know. Normally, this is a podcast for to talk about every little thing. Otherwise, and I think it's fair for the people who always watch this program ask us to see if we could make a link in Jamaica to find out what is happening, and that's what we are doing here now. So you have to bear with us because we have to be fiddling around with this phone, making contact with this person, that person,
Yes.
and stuff. So as you all are aware now that the storm, which has passed through the end of Morant Bay end, through to Kingston, through Spanish Town, and now presently on the side where Lionel Town and Rocky Point and all those areas, and Hayes has been affected. Now it's in St. Elizabeth, right? And a lot of devastation there where the roads are blocked there, and which is impossible at the moment. And then in Port Royal, where that end of the island where it's actually at the sea leading from the airport, that road is totally blocked. So for all the persons who are listening, that's why we do ask you guys to just share the link for us to keep your family and friends safe, and for those persons who can make contact back home to make sure that they are safe. So from that end leading from the airport, where the airport was damaged but not severely, and the road leading from the airport going through Port Royal is closed at the moment.
Yes.
So
I
those
think Mark
parts,
said Port Royal is devastation
yeah, in
because
terms of
it's
the rain,
in terms of the
because
rain.
it's
It's
flat
right
there. Yeah,
near the water.
yeah. So from Port Royal to Portmore and Old Harbor Bay, we would advise for those persons to stay away from those areas, and where Salt River, Lionel Town, and all those places, it's impossible. And in St. Elizabeth, just the same, where you have like Magotty and all those places, Allen Bamboo, you can't, you're unable to pass there now. And it's in Manchester now, also St. Elizabeth, based on the side. So based on which side of the island you're at the moment, it didn't go to the Falmouth and the Raya Bruna Runaway Bay, St. Anne's Bay, Port Maria side.
So it kind of stayed on the south side.
Yeah, so it stayed at that side, which in for us, it's not a good look wherever it passes.
No,
And I'm grateful that the eye hasn't passed over Jamaica, so they're
in the
actually,
center.
yeah, they're actually bearing the tail end of the storm. And presently, at the moment, that's why we are unable to make contact for those persons who are in Manchester and those areas. We're trying to make the contact, but all phone lines are down and electricity are down in those areas also. And in Montego Bay, just the same, there's no electricity in Montego Bay. Christiana, there's no electricity, no phone lines, right? And all the surrounding areas in Mandeville, Williamsfield, Frankfield, Maypen, all those persons, Hayes, there's no electricity, no phone lines at the moment. So it's slowly taking a
Taking its
toll,
toll.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that it is moving, right? And it is moving at a rapid pace, but not fast enough. But what happened is, as soon as it reaches, leaves Jamaica, heading to the Cayman Islands, it will pick up a bit more strength. And then from Cayman Islands, which in it's said to be category 2, which I'm happy for them
Yeah, it's
based
going
on the
down.
size of the island. And then from there, it will go back to a category 3. And based on the temperature of the water, then
Yes.
it will rise. So we do hold those persons close to our heart and pray for all those places where it's heading to now.
So
So
so what we understand from the categories is that the hotter the water, the higher the category. Isn't that right?
so far, yes.
So the warmer
So
the
far,
water, the higher the category.
yeah,
For those that don't understand the different categories when it comes to the strength and the numbers.
yes.
Number 1 is not too bad. Number 2 is not too bad either. When it starts going to 3, 4, and 5, that's when we're gonna have. This is where we have a problem.
And what I'm so happy about is based on it was heading to Jamaica. This is how I know that Jamaica is a blessed place, right?
Yes.
Because it was heading to Jamaica as a category
F-
4.
5.
Yeah, category 5.
Yes.
Then it went down to 4.
Yes.
Then it went down to 3. And it's so funny because the eye was category 4, but the tail end was category 3, which in it, they were getting the winds and rain from about 11, 1 o'clock today, Jamaica time. That would be about 4 or 5 o'clock our time when I spoke to some persons there, and they were saying that they were experiencing rain, and the winds was high at that time. I could see the all the trees swaying to the left and doing the wacky dip and all those stuff. Right? So we'll see as time progresses how it sweeps over the island, and as you are fully aware of that, we'll make necessary contacts with those persons who are there to see who we can get contact with. I've messaged for maybe about 70 persons in Jamaica who were willing to give us an update, but their phone lines in those areas are down at the moment. So we'll try to get a feedback in the next 20 minutes again, live from Jamaica, to see what's happening.
Funny enough, we've got some people that really enjoy this weather in the Caribbean. I've spoken to two men that enjoy hurricane because some say that it's the sun's too hot sometimes, and it's just constant heat, 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 heat. There's not much change in the weather conditions. So they say, one said they like it because it's like the trees are dancing. Another person said they just can't take too much heat and it's good to have a change of weather. So as much as it's catastrophic for a lot of people actually love this weather. It's
I
unbelievable.
the persons, I'm not going to be rude, but for those persons who have made those comments, is to me they haven't really experienced it, hurricane then, and they probably not thinking about assets and life and know how devastating this can be.
That's right.
So to me,
I
it's
couldn't
like
believe it, to be honest. I was pretty shocked. I was like, "What do you mean you love this weather? What?
when I,
Like, what is there to love about destruction? Because
yeah.
that is what's going to bring, isn't it?"
But funny enough, as you saying that, earlier on when I was speaking to someone in Jamaica and the winds was going and the rain started, and I was hearing someone in the background, so I said, "What is that person saying?" And they were saying, "Yeah, man, let the hurricane come. Let it get rid of who is to get rid of." You get what I mean? Because you have some people who, this is the exact words, and I'm repeating what the person was saying because I could hear them in the background, right? Saying, "Let the hurricane come and get rid of who it's supposed to get rid of, right? And blow down some houses that the family is going to fight over dead and left." You get what I mean? So some people see it as something funny. Some people see it as something that they haven't felt before, the scary feeling of having that experience. And experienced hurricane myself 3 times. And it's not a nice feeling. It's not a nice feeling to experience something of the sort. Not something that you would ever think of you would want to be a part of. And I have to say, where um, commend and compliments is due for American Airlines, who has provided um, extra flights for those persons who wanted to leave Jamaica when they were expecting a Category 4, to let them get out, because if you're there and you want to get out, go. Just like when I was in Cayman Islands and I heard that we have to leave the island because of what the hurricane is going to be like. And sometimes you even, as an individual, sacrifice yourself for the persons around you, where you're saying, "Here what happened." When you go to the airport, you're thinking within yourself that if the person doesn't have a visa to go to another country, the country is going to let them in. It's not like that,
Mm-mm.
right? And when we went to the airport, the persons that I was around, they were unable to leave. Um, and I said, "All right, guess what happened? We'll stick this out. What happens, happens." And it was an experience that, honestly, I didn't want to, I wouldn't want to experience again.
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's good, not good for you to experience it, but sometimes for people that are a bit narrow-minded, you have to experience certain things to understand what people are going through, especially people that don't have strong houses, strong, solid businesses. You know, any form of wind would just knock it down. You know, these are people's livelihoods, these are people's homes. You know, what about the elderly? You know, people that don't have anybody, no family. They're just there by themselves and going through this. Is devastating. It really, really is. And my heart goes out to each and every one that is going through um, this terrible time.
yeah. There's some messages coming in on my phone that even though it's raining, there's a lot of looting going on in some parts of Jamaica at the moment. So it's not looking good, even for those persons who own their businesses, to know that even if the the roof of your business haven't been damaged, and yet still to go to your property in the morning and found out that your property has been looted. So thank you very much for all those persons who are watching. Please, asking you to just press that share button to let your family and friends be aware of the conditions that is happening in Jamaica. We are going to try and make another link in a few minutes to someone else who is in Jamaica to give us an update of what is transpiring around there. I have received another phone call that in Clarendon, where they have the bridge in Clarendon, that the water level has never been so high. And the message I'm receiving now that the water in Pingwing Key and those areas,
Yeah.
surrounding areas, the water is high. The roads are flooded at the moment. For those persons who are traveling in from the Mandeville end coming into Porus, that road is also impossible at the moment. There's landslide there at the moment and stuff. So we
Yeah, I mean, you have to be really careful with the landslides because if you're driving, you can slide, your house can slide down, all sorts of conditions can happen. And I don't know, man. The world's changing and it's changing drastically. And we all have to really think about, you know, our lives, and it makes you think about a lot of things when things like this happen, because one thing we don't want, if you've got family that's abroad, you live one place and your family lives another place, you don't want nothing like weather to kill your family or anything happen to your family because of weather. When you say it like that, the weather can destroy families. It's just crazy. Even heat, if it's way too hot, you can die from it. And the way they say global warming, as Benson said earlier, man is in control of everything that goes on in the world, including weather. I don't trust them. Just like in Dubai. Dubai is a desert. That is what Dubai is. It's a desert. Okay? And they turned it into a city, blazing hot city. And because it's always hot, they decided to control the weather and wanted it to rain. And then it rained so hard they couldn't stop it. So, if that's happening in Dubai, what's not to say that what's happening right now? They're doing that right now. I don't trust the government. I don't trust anybody, to be honest. Sorry to say.
this in Vegas now. They over the weekend they're going to have degrees up to 110. They said.
Yep.
So there's all sorts of things going on around the world now. All sorts of things that is happening. We're gonna have a live link, a live call from Jamaica again in a couple of minutes to give us an update of what is happening there. Some other areas in Jamaica to let us know what's happening. I've just received another message from Jamaica, which in it's not as what we expected. So we'll see what happens at the end of this. Hold on, we're trying to make another link in Jamaica. Hello.
Ben, Benson,
Yeah, you're live. Good evening, sir.
how are you doing? How are you doing?
Not bad, not
How are you?
bad.
How are
And
you?
yourself and the family?
Uh, good. thanks to God.
Yeah. How is it going down there?
Uh, well, it's okay, what happens is that a lot of people on the outside of Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
They have different views